at this stage, where all of you are in your spiritual journey, in your journey of self-discovery, that we'd like to pass along a few ideas, a few concepts, a few analogies, maybe a description of what's really going on here, so that you can see yourself from higher and higher and higher perspectives. As you're making your way from the lower densities to the higher densities, you're moving out of fear, moving out of the illusion, moving out of confusion into love, into clarity, into a new, broader, wiser understanding of who you are, not who you are as the human so much, as, of course, that's all part of it, but who you are as this non-physical, powerful, massive, eternal being of love that you truly are. As you exist in the non-physical, you endeavor to come into this reality, this earth reality, because you are brave and courageous and explorers and adventurers, and you're built for this. You couldn't be here, especially at this time of awakening, if you were not created for this journey. This is what you very much wanted to experience. This will expand the non-physical you. It'll expand the soul family. It'll expand all of us in the non-physical. It'll expand the mass consciousness of this planet. And it'll move humanity, which is all of you as one, forward to new discoveries and new ideas, new philosophies, new ways of thinking about yourself, and to higher and higher and higher densities. Now imagine someone like you deciding to come and live in this exciting time on Earth, and having done this many times before, you're very well aware of how physical reality works and what's really going on here and the purpose of all this. And so you carefully planned your life. And from that non-physical perspective, you had free will. You could have been anything, but you chose to be who you are. You could have picked any spirit guide, but you chose the spirit guides that are with you. You could have had anyone come in with you to be the parents, the child, the lovers, the friends, the enemies, but you chose those specific souls to come with you. None of this was by accident. It was all very well intended. You are very powerful intention setters. And those intentions exist as a vibration within you and are drawing to you every experience you're ever going to have. Now, from that perspective, you have absolute free will. Free will is the basis of the universe. How do you have free will, though, as the human version of you? This is a very interesting idea. Within this density, this third dimension, which is all about choice and decisions. From your human perspective, you have a brain that can remember what you believe is the past and imagine what you think the future might be. And you are bombarded with choices, decisions, and actions to take all day long. You make decisions, you make choices, you take actions, and you defer all of that as well. You decide not to make a decision or not to make a choice or not to take an action. And all of it feels as if it's leading you somewhere, which of course it is, but not where you think it is. It's leading you to see yourself from a higher perspective, to move into the higher densities. This is what you came for, to have a massive shift in perspective in one life, to have a massive movement from a lower density to a higher density in one life. As you do, you light up this world. As you do not do, you stay where you are, essentially. Well, you're always moving up generally. But those of you who are listening to this now, and who will listen to this at a later date, you have come for this massive shift through densities from lower densities to higher densities, because you knew that this would give you the greatest opportunity to discover who you are as a non-physical entity living in a physical reality. This is the most exciting thing that you know of. This is the most exciting place anywhere in the universe. This idea that you can come into deep forgetting and feel great separation, even loneliness, can't be had anywhere else. If you were on another reality, you would understand that you're all connected. You'd remember basically who you are, and you would live in much more love and much less fear. Of course, in those realities, there isn't the opportunity for this massive shift in perspective. This is what you wanted, because in this, you birth very strong desires. You unlock thoughts and ideas, inventions, and all that which is new. You are the seekers of the new. Now, the universe is built for the new. Yet, if you lived in a collective consciousness, it would be a gradual movement towards the new, towards new understandings and new inventions and new ideas, new philosophies. In this reality, it's a rapid involvement of the new or discovery of the new. And this is why you came. You, like us, like all that's a non-physical, wanted to find a way that would unlock all of the new. You see, every thought that any human has ever thought before exists within the mass consciousness of humanity on this planet. However, every thought that has never been thought before also exists in the unknown. And you are able to access that through the life you're living now. Now, humans have existed for many, many, many eons, gradually moving upwards and seeing themselves from higher and higher perspectives. You have examples of some who have made massive shifts in their lifetime in one area of their life. Could be science, could be art, could be music, could be philosophy. And they fizzle out and maybe inspire others to do the same. But now you're all doing it all at the same time in all areas of your life. And in this, you're moving to densities that have never been able to be reached by any other generation. Due to the timing of all this, you're unlocking so many new ideas, so many new thoughts, which we call the unimaginable. Most humans are living in boxes, trying to feather their bed and make it more comfortable and do what other people have done before, just another iteration of the same old thing. This breeds entropy. And in other civilizations, this entropy is the downfall of that civilization. But because you are so tuned to the new and you are thinking in new ways, you are radically adjusting and shaping and moving and flowing and reaching higher and higher and higher levels that could not be done in any other reality. This is why you came. Now imagine that. Imagine that most humans who have ever existed before are wishing and hoping and dreaming of a better life for them and their families, for humanity in general, but doing it the same way others have done it before. A nicer house, a nicer car, more money, travel, nicer things, better quality. That's all well and good. But what about the unimaginable? What about that which has never been experienced by any other human before? Well, when you get to these higher densities, these things start becoming apparent to you. How did this happen? This is unexplainable. This could not have been a coincidence. It can't be random. It's not luck. This is an experience, a brief moment of clarity that's showing you where you're living and what you're doing and who you truly are. And then something happens to trigger a limiting belief, and you're back down where you were before, or feeling that way, which is never true. It's just that as you go higher and higher and higher in these densities, you begin to feel better, to appreciate more, to understand yourselves even more. And then, boom, something happens and it dips your perspective just a bit. That dip in perspective is what you call negative emotion. And it feels terrible to you because you're operating in the higher densities. In the lower densities, that's all you feel and you're used to it. But as things get nicer and better and more delicious and exciting and delightful and surprising, this is all you want. But you're still living in that human body. You're still pretending that who you think you are is who you truly are, this human form. It's an avatar. It's there to guide you through and have a sense of context and move you about and let you play with ideas and discover preferences and birth desires and all that. But it's just a narrow bandwidth of experience. And that narrow bandwidth based on identity can really be tripped up, exposed, triggered. And this is when you feel negative emotion. But all of that is leading you somewhere as well. It's leading you to another perspective. If I'm experiencing the unimaginable, if I'm thinking about myself in higher terms, if I'm having glimpses of clarity in what's really going on here and who I am, how does a little thing trigger me and bring me back down, or the feeling of bringing you back down, this drop in perspective accompanied by negative emotion? This is all designed so that you cannot really operate in the higher densities within the identity because it is such a narrow bandwidth of experience. You'd have to expand that identity to allow in the possibility of things that you do not think are good or right or acceptable. But from the higher perspective of your inner self, who sees what's really going on here, this gives you the opportunity to say, I could use a little guidance here. I could use a little support. I could use a little idea. I could use a little assistance. And when you ask for it, it is given. When you ask for your guides and supporters to come through, for your inner self to give you some wisdom, when you are expecting this as part of this journey, you are opening up to the expansion of that identity to include the non-physical. This is part and parcel of your travel through to higher and higher densities. You cannot do it alone. It's not necessary. There's no reason for it whatsoever. It is incumbent on you to ask for the support, to allow in that which is unknown or unseen to you, the guidance from the non-physical. We are all here to support you. That's why you're here. We're here now. You've asked us to come. And we are coming in ways to surprise and delight you and bring you information and coax you along and give you a little guidance as best we can. But we are just a byproduct of your way of thinking. We appear to be outside of you. You are not generally asking for the guidance to come from within. But we promise you, you do not need us whatsoever. All of the information is available to you if you simply go within. But how can you trust it? It sounds like your own thoughts. You'll have doubts. Sure, of course you will, at the beginning. But as you endeavor to free write and channel and bring in inspiration, acting on inspiration, and making the decisions based in where your perspective is so that you would shift your perspective before any decision, you allow in more and more and more. And essentially, when you reach the upper levels of this third density, you'll cross over a threshold into the fourth density, which is oneness. Now, doesn't that make sense? You are all one. We are one with you. You are one with your inner self and your guides and supporters. You are all playing this game together. And those of you who reach the upper levels of density will be bringing in more and more and more of your non-physical, massive abilities and wisdom and powers to guide you even further. This is the glory of this massive shift in perspective. And those of you who are playing along with us now are doing everything you need to do. And all we're doing is reminding you that you're not in this alone, because essentially you are all one. And with that, we'd like to talk to you about anything you'd like to talk about.